I was getting ready to record today's video, and I was running out of ideas. Typically, uh, you know, writers run into the situation where they have this writer's block. They are doing amazing, but suddenly they stop. They don't know which pathway to take, and how to weave an idea, and the choke, the block. That's called the writer's block. So there's also something called a speaker's block. We run out of ideas, and I'm on this channel every day. Every day I record a video, so I run out of ideas. Sometimes I repeat myself. Sometimes it's very difficult to have that thought clarity where you have clear differentiation between ideas and thoughts and emotions that you want to convey every day. Hard. It's difficult. um, so I was struggling, so I opened my email and I have like two emails from two different individuals. One I know, one I do not know, and both of them talking about how they have been overlooked. One just lost their job, the other is struggling to get a promotion. So I thought, if this is true, in fact it is. Over the last 20 years, if I look back and all the consultations I've done, all the people I've spoken to, one of the in Silicon Valley where I live and I work, one of the common questions, one of the common consultations is about career and job and promotions. And these are one-off consultations, which I do not do anymore, but uh, that was there was a big volume of that in the years that I was working with people. So why people get promoted when it seems they don't deserve it? And I think the bigger question is why performers, um, uh, why promotions don't go to the best performers. I think that's the right way to phrase this video. This is positive. At the same time, I don't want to lead this conversation in a negative way. So why promotions don't go to the best performers? If I say why best performers don't get promoted, I think it becomes a kind of negative. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, let's get into the meat of this. If you're totally new to this channel, I'm here every day. This is in a way a coaching channel. I take questions from people. I take questions from email from my subscribers. I try to answer them, and today is one of those days. And today's video is very unique, very different, because this is a video that I'm doing very different than what I have been doing in the last maybe 20 or 25 days on this channel. I show up every day. I record in my car. I do this in real time, and no edits involved here. There is no pretense. This is how it is, as simple as it should be, as real as it should be. Okay, so let's get into this. Um, um, Promotions happen in rooms that you are not part of. Decisions are made in rooms that you are not part of. That's the truth. Okay. My idea is, by the time you're done here, you have at least 3 or 4 specific things that you could do on your own. 4 specific things you could do on your own to reverse this as much as possible. It's very difficult to change perception once it's done. But then there are things you can do to turn it around if you have enough duration to do it. Okay. So first and the foremost is you got to spend some time and do what is called a pattern recognition. Okay. And you got to map the real org chart that is invisible. So there is a visible org chart. There is something called an invisible org chart. And in that invisible org chart, which by the way is in every department, every group has an org chart, but there's an invisible org chart in every group. It's also there in every department. It's also there in every organization, in every company. So from the lowest level to all the way to the highest level, there are invisible org charts. Now, the invisible org charts are the hidden pathways to promotion. And the purpose is for you to find the influence nodes. Okay, so the real influencers, there are people who make decisions. There are people whose opinion the bosses seek, and there are people who get looped in before anything begins. Very early at a nascent thought phase itself, people get looped. Who is looping them? Who is getting looped? You need to create a chart. So by the time you're done with this video, if you have not picked up anything, at least do this. It's going to help you. It's not negative. It's not wrong to do this. It is something that you do it anyway. Why not do it in a pictorial manner, so you know who is talking to who is going out with lunch with whom, who spends time with whom? You got to. Okay, you got to. You'll thank me later for this. Okay. Um, the second thing is called signal, status signaling, not status seeking. Okay, you got to signal a few things. Okay, because very early on this video, we kind of established the fact that promotions happen, and largely promotions happen because of perception. I'm not saying skill, talent, hard work, they don't, but there is an element of perception also involved with it, and it's very difficult to change, as I said. It takes time to rewrite narratives, and we'll talk about narratives just in a second. So, framing ideas and conveying them. Okay, that's the step one, framing ideas and conveying them. And what do you say no to without saying it? Okay, so framing ideas and conveying them, and then how you say no. These are the two things that decide your next level. Now, you have been told, conditioned through society, through script, through whatever your mentors, that you got to say yes to everything. I'm telling you that the way you say no decides your next level. The way you frame ideas and you convey them in conversations decides your next level. That means you are ready for the next level. Okay. If you try hard, it backfires. So you got to be very careful. You have to be visible, but selectively visible as you do this. Okay. Trying hard backfires, but you got to selectively say no without saying no. And then the frequency, the depth, and the level of conviction in your no decides your next level. The next level is the promotion. I hope you are with me. Then let's talk about narratives. Okay, you got to control the narrative. If you're not telling the story, somebody else is telling the story, and if somebody else is telling the story, it's not in your favor. Chances are it's not in your favor. So where does the story happen? The story happens in one-on-ones. The story happens, the narrative happens in project updates. The narratives also happen in casual conversations and also in the break rooms while you're having a cup of tea. Okay. So you got to plant value at these three places so that and such that the value keeps repeating in rooms that you're not part of. Okay. People will talk about the value behind you in the rooms that you will never be part of. Okay. So you got to become the person of signature value. Signature value is not title. Signature value is not a senior software engineer or an exceptionally amazing Python coder or an amazing database, administrator. None of that stuff. That's not the signature value. That's a title. It could be a role you're playing, but the value is beyond that. And how do we create this? What it is? It's beyond the scope of at least today's video, but you get the idea. Okay. The fourth thing you got to do is you got to create unlikely allies or alliances, whatever way to say it, but there are unlikely allies in the company that you work in who have nothing to do with what you do. They might be remotely expecting something from you through a very distant project or a very distant expectation, but they do not have any direct control on you. Now, what my experience tells me that these people are, if strategically played, can be your unexpected champions. Totally, they are no which way related to you, but they are championing your cause. Okay, they will talk very high about you. So where I'm going with all this is there is a hidden ROI in helping others who are absolutely, totally unrelated to your team, um, and they are not at all in any hierarchy, but they have some level of, maybe they're seeking something from your organization, from your department, and you make that connection. Now, if I take it deeper a little bit, then we are talking about what is called micro loyalties. Okay, you got to create micro loyalties across departments with unexpected people who will become your absolute champions in the rooms that you can never be part of, in the conversations that you do not know are happening. Okay, listen, I could talk a little bit about generational hierarchies, intergenerational hierarchies when it comes to organizations. That's beyond the scope of this video. But when it comes to why promotions go to the or do not go to the best performers, then this video is just a kind of a very top level primer that exposes the real reasons. And hopefully that was my goal, and I hope this is helpful. If I would had a little bit more time to develop this thought, then I could have taken different angles on this video, but I think this is helpful. If it is, let me know. Drop me a comment. If you like this video, I'll reach a few people. But if you make a comment, then obviously you and I can communicate. And then if you do subscribe to this channel, then I'm here every day. Luckily, the universe, the God, or whatever, the higher power is allowing me to show up every day. I didn't break that cadence yet. Started on May 19th of 2025 as I'm recording this. It's the August 10th, the Sunday evening, right around 8 p.m. In just under an hour, I'm going to be uploading this video on this channel. And if you're watching this, if YouTube referred this video to you, just this video showed up in your feed, then only subscribe to this channel if you found value. If not, don't do it. Everything I shared here is my personal experience. I got laid off 4 times. I've worked with over 10,000 people in Silicon Valley when it comes to their careers, documented 10,000 consultations just on career itself. So I'm coming from a point of absolute truth, what I'm sharing with you, at least on this concept, because there's data to show that. I've been, I've traversed that path, and I know what I'm talking. Hopefully it's helpful. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Wherever you are, you be safe, and I'll be with you as early as tomorrow. Bye now.